afternoon, everyone. It's your girl, Salvaje, and I'm here with Jasleen to bring you this week's Wild Report, a weekly show where we recap all of the hottest Heroes of the Storm news, tea, and everything in between. How you doing today, Jazzy?
I'm doing great, Sal. Week 3 of CCL just wrapped up, but before we get into that, let's give a little bit of a quick update on what happened with Granite's forfeit from last week. Granite came out with an apology on Twitter that reads, "We do apologize to HeroesHearth CCL and the community for last week's series. Sorry." We also saw a post made in the CCL Discord from the owner of Granite that has a little more sincerity behind it. Me, as an owner of Granite Gaming, want to apologize to everyone working with this, putting the time into this, all org owners and players, the league, and all sponsors. I've talked to the team, and this is not what I wanted, and they understand that what has happened is not okay. Can't say any more than I'm really sorry. Have a great evening, day, night. CCL has stayed tight-lipped and on the topic and has not addressed or acknowledged the community backlash on the forfeit. A lot of people were hoping for some kind of action and precedent to be set from CCL, but so far we've heard nothing. It seems like Granite is walking away with a slap on the wrist, and that's the end of it. Fortunately for the league, though, Granite doesn't have any more games slated for the Sunday second slot for the rest of the season, so I'm not expecting them to pull this again. All right, now let's move on to this week's matches. Take it away, Selv.
Spoilers ahead! On Saturday, we saw Simplicity taking on Diamond Hands to kick the day off. They started on Battlefield of Eternity, where Diamond Hands dominated in 14-0 kills. This had everyone believing Diamond Hands was in for an easy 3-0 this series. And while they ultimately did 3-0 Simplicity, it wasn't a walk in the park. Simplicity did put up a great fight in Game 2 on Towers of Doom, where they lost with only 5 shots left on the core of Diamond Hands. After the game concluded, Diamond Hands dropped this one on Twitter. Game 2 was scary, but ended up with a clean 3-0 versus Simplicity during the HeroesHearth series. Well played! And then they have a meme with a train running into a bus. What a beautiful day, and what a beautiful day. Into the second series of the day, Storm Esports took on Chili Mountain. And what more can I say about this series than bruiser, bruiser, and more bruisers? Chili was missing Masquerade this weekend, and we once again saw Maka playing in place of Nasmus on Storm. There were some interesting Imperious picks from Chili Mountain, and they walk away with a 3-1 victory over Storm. Afterwards, a bit of flame came out from Make, who managed to pull out this win playing from a MacBook, also known as the Gap Book. And here we have his tweet. The Gap Book should be in Apple stores early this summer. There you go. After the loss, Storm tank player Lauber did take to Twitter, seeming a little down from the loss. He ended up saying CCL land is slipping away. Maybe it's time to call it. We really hope he can keep his mental up and continue to put in the hard work with Storm. It's not over until the gauntlet is run, so there's still hope yet. So keep your head up, Lauber.
All right, moving on into Sunday, we had Oxygen versus Granite for the first series of the day. Granite Gaming was well rested this week for their series, but it wasn't enough for them to take it. Granite had a great showing in Game 1 where they took a map off of Oxygen, but was ultimately all downhill from there. Oxygen took the series in a 3-1. Up next, we had the series everyone was pumped for, WildHeart versus 30K. Two teams that had yet to drop a series vying for the #1 spot in CCL. This series had a barrage of technical issues with several pauses throughout, but even with that, all of the matches were very close, and I highly recommend checking the series out. At the end of the day, though, 30K did walk away with a 3-1 over WildHeart. After the series, a lot of 30K took to Twitter to thank WildHeart for their patience with the tech issues and DCs, and for donating some of their pause time to the series. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the match. Being forced out here. Huge, massive shove. Haven immediately going in on Legacy. Drops the lightning breath. Legacy trying to walk away. He's getting enough heals. Oh my goodness, is he going to make it through this? 140 health and he's going down. Okay. Mason Blaze. Mason Blaze is going to be able to secure the kill. Madara versus Mace is in the bottom lane, and Mason Blaze gets the second kill. We do lose Lunara. Weary Day's trying to go in on Cure. Haven looking for him as we still have Zergling on the chase for Cattle down here. Has no shields. One more. Oh. Able to get the shield off one more time, actually. And there we go.
Yeah, nice.
WildHeart starting the rotation down. Haven is on that flank looking for the engage. Tychus and Brightwing rotating around now.
Haven's looking on the flank here.
Cure's getting chunked out. The polymorph comes out. They get the pick onto Sylvanas. Rotating down now. Nice jet propulsion from Zerg. But a root connecting onto Weary Day. No damage to follow it up. Cure's on the flank for the interrupt onto that channel there. They're gonna try and find him, but he's gonna be able to jump out of the wall right into Mason Blaze's open arms.
Oh, no.
He accepted his fate.
We certainly weren't disappointed in either team's performance this series, and let's hope to see a rematch at this year's CCL LAN. Now let's move on to our Meet the Team segment. This week, Jazzy sat down with one of our new players to the WildHeart roster, Ivy Tings. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hello and welcome to this week's Meet the Team segment, and a big welcome to this week's guest, Ivy Tings. Ivy, a new addition to WildHeart's CCL team this season, and I have to say you're looking right at home already. How have you been enjoying your time with WildHeart so far?
It's been fun. Definitely, this is my second team in CCL, third season, and all the guys are super cool, super chill. We all want to improve, and it's been a fun time so far.
Great. I always like to start at the beginning of everyone's journey in HOTS. Where does yours kick off?
Well, I was introduced to HOTS by a high school friend, I think, and well, he no longer plays the game, but yeah, I started playing Storm League, and I was just, I guess, a solo queue warrior for a long time, and then around HGC time, started trying out for teams. Then HGC died, and then here we are with CCL. So that's kind of a short version of the story.
Now, your CCL debut came in Season 2 when Storm drafted you. Where were you for Season 1? What was going on with you there?
Well, it's pretty common knowledge that I didn't use a mic for a while. So first season, didn't really want to burden teams to pick me up, because obviously it's definitely a lot harder. Communication barrier. Like you have the Koreans this season. They have a language barrier, but I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even say anything, you know. Second season, I was just playing for fun with Sim Academy. I wanted to do the free agent tournament, and to do the free agent tournament, you have to sign up as a free agent. So I guess I signed up. Didn't really intend to join the draft actually, but at the last second, I decided not to withdraw my name, and so I got picked up by Storm, and that's that.
What made you change your mind about staying on the free agent list for Season 2?
I think a lot of people told me that I was good enough to play, but I also didn't want to be like a detriment to any team that picked me up. So I was kind of curious, see what would happen. I mean, worst case, I just bow out later on, you know?
What advice do you have for any players that are trying to get drafted into CCL as someone who came in Season 2 after there's already established players and teams?
I think, well, from my perspective, anyone who does well on ladder, even though like there's a common like conception that SL is just like not that important, but if you're consistently like top 1 to 10 GM and you have like a good reputation among players, people will notice you. And then after people notice you, I mean, you can sub for scrims, you can like reach out to certain, like as long as you keep your reputation up there, people will notice you eventually. Obviously it's a bit harder now with the format, but
we were talking a little bit earlier about how you didn't have a mic when you were first playing in CCL. How long was that for, and when did you finally get your mic?
Well, it's kind of like I guess a long time ago. I didn't have it, and then around HGC time I did, and then I went back to micless. It's kind of an up and down roller coaster. But I think I brought out the mic again for Season 3 playoffs. And yeah, because we didn't do as well in Season 3 as we did in Season 2 regular season, so I really wanted to make that extra push in the playoffs. We made it out the gauntlet, and then kind of got dumpstered in the playoffs, but yeah, that's probably around when I brought it out again.
Without the mic, how were you communicating with your team? Were you just spam pinging?
Well, Lauber and BBJ were pretty vocal, so I guess I was kind of lucky in the situation that I was put in. So I just had to kind of follow the directions of those two. In general, like if I want to communicate something, I can ping it. I can ping cooldowns, ping on the way, or ping back when I think it doesn't look good. But I mean, as long as I think for DPS, it's not as important to talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's important and competitive, but at the same time, like it's not absolutely necessary. You can probably get away with it if the 4 other players are super vocal. So.
What was it like coming in to play with WildHeart in the early days of joining them? Was it an instant good fit, or do you have any struggles adjusting to the new teammates?
When we were first trying out different players, I guess there's always a learning curve, but everyone was pretty amenable to improving. Obviously, understanding that at the beginning there's probably going to be some sort of mismatch in the ideas of how you want to play. So, I mean, it worked out well. We are where we are right now. Obviously, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but we're doing well so far. So,
All right.
it's looking great.
Now, on top of playing in CCL, you're also currently studying full-time. Do you have any challenges balancing school with scrims and matches?
It's not too bad of a commitment in terms of time. It's certain days will obviously, or certain weeks, like exam weeks, will definitely be a little bit hard. But I mean, the schedule's flexible. There's a sub slot for a reason. And if the sub's not available, I mean, there's plenty of people with stuff like slug subs sometimes. So it's definitely a balancing act. But I mean, if you really enjoy the game, like you'll make the time out for it, and that's what I do.
The last question here to wrap things up: what HOTS character would you most like to have lunch with?
Lunch with. Probably Stitches, I guess. I don't know. He eats well. I don't know exactly how to answer the question. He does have. Isn't there a skin with a chef hat or something? He must cook well too.
Do you think you'd be able to keep your appetite up with that grotesque of a hero being around you for lunch, though?
Now that you bring it up, possibly. I don't know. He does have some weird-looking stomach up there. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Ivy, for joining me for this week's Meet the Team segment. It was a pleasure having you on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Lunch with Stitches? Sounds like a messy and a nasty time. Have fun with that, buddy. It's so great to see Ivy Tinks fitting in so well with this iteration of the WildHeart roster. He's been an excellent addition to WildHeart, and we couldn't be happier to have him. Moving on to WildHeart events for this week, tonight we have the WildHeart Stream Team coming out for their monthly game night, and with some good old-fashioned Heroes of the Storm ARAMs. Come tune into the WildHeart Twitch channel to catch the shenanigans at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/wildheart_esports, or check out any of our stream team members' channels that will be linked in the description below.
And then on Wednesday, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are running episode 6 of the Paramount Plus Halo series in the WildHeart Discord with Halo games to follow afterwards. But that's not all for the week, is it, Selv?
That's right, Jazzy! The HOTS community is in for a treat this weekend. While CCL is going to be on break, we are bringing back Coach or Roast. This is a WildHeart fundraising event where players and teams can submit a replay of their choosing for a low-cost coach or to get roasted.
Ooh, any idea who those coaches and roasters are this time around, Selv?
For this year, we're going to have Retired Hero, who is an ex-HGC coach, Zergling, the current offlaner for WildHeart Esports, and Nintori, the current offlaner for Diamond Hands, as your bona fide coaches and roasters. Get your replays ready and your notebooks out. This is sure to be a fun and informative night. Check out the Coach or Roast channel in our Discord for more rules and information. The link can be found in the description below.
Last but not least, as we mentioned, CCL games are on break for the May long weekend, so we'll see you back in June for more CCL and Heroes of the Storm action. As always, you can catch the CCL games streamed on both the Wisdom Gaming channel and Grubby's channel.
As a reminder, you can also check out Goon and Jazlane's CCL cast over on twitch.tv/Jazlane. WildHeart's next match will take place on Saturday, June 4th against Diamond Hands. And that's all for this week's Wild Report. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching and have a great day.